terrible stalks the African night, unleashing a predator's apocalypse. And an uneasy truce is about to explode into violence. Forget the normal rules of engagement. In an all-out war of predators, the attackers become the attacked. It's no place for a civilian. Drought has raised the stakes. If you don't watch your back, you are likely to die. Desperation rules, and table manners are out. Take a mad dash headlong into the conflict, where the combatants are primed for battle like machines of war. Panzer divisions of lions, a deadly light infantry of dogs, a sleek stealth fighter with precision targeting, lethal special forces kill with cunning, and a powerful cat goes airborne. A lone correspondent embedded in the combat zone asks, which forces will get out alive when the predators go to war? There is no cloud cover over southern Africa. Ideal conditions for battlefield imaging. No clouds mean no rain, and a relentless drought means tensions escalate. Clearly delineated territories collapse. Front lines shift from day to day. Nightfall, the Mala Mala Game Reserve. Usually a place of plenty, but tonight, a place of desperation. Everything here is now out of kilter. Every move fraught with danger. The prey animals here are always vigilant, but the stakes are higher now, and they know it. The lone warrior descends to the field of conflict, looking for meat. Few can match the leopard for sheer, deadly ambush power. But every carcass is contested these days. Blood-curdling laughter announces the arrival of Mala Mala's hyenas. The leopard is larger and stronger, and outnumbered. His jaws are powerful, but the hyena's jaws can outcrush any other mammals, not just the cats. Now, something more deadly approaches. A killing force that drives even hyenas and leopards into retreat. The spoils of war once again change hands. It's too small a carcass for so many big cats. In this fierce struggle, everyone has had a mouthful, but none has had enough. An observer has witnessed the escalation in tension. If any human could feel at home out on this violent night, it is Kim Wallader. He grew up here in the bush. His father was a ranger in South Africa's biggest game park. Kim's grandfather was the first to do that job. In fact, his grandfather once killed a lion with a knife before the animal could eat him.
Pull each other's arm or grab each other's.
A game ranger turned filmmaker, Kim is starting to feel like a war correspondent.
Drought's getting worse. Animals are concentrating. Territories are breaking down. Predators are coming into contact with each other, and it's just resulting in a full-scale war.
One year earlier, before drought sucked the life out of the Mala Mala, the game reserve is an unforgiving Eden. The normal brutal economy holds sway. Fight to reproduce. Eat while the eating is good. Try not to get eaten. Prey is everywhere, and so are predators. Tension hovers just beneath the boiling point. Predators typically avoid upsetting the balance of power. Maintaining territories limits the violence. All understand the pecking order and respect superior force. A cheetah gives way to a more powerful leopard without a fight. The lion, the great icon of Africa, can defend his territory while lying down. On a still day, his roar can carry 5 miles. This is no encrypted broadcast. It's peacetime psychological operations. PSYOPs. The roar tells rival male lions to stay away, and other predators that there's one king of the jungle here. The Irefield Pride consists of 3 males and 9 females. They control a 10-square-mile area straddling the Sand River, the lifeblood of the game reserve. The lone male leopard, Kim named Chololo, patrols a smaller territory that overlaps the lions. The Charleston Hyena clan maintains its den site to the south and east of the river. There are 2 wild cards in this scenario. Other super predators that make hunting forays here. cheetah and the African wild dog. To Kim, the predators resemble modern-day fighting units, each with its own set of lethal capabilities.
The lions who are operating just with pure brute force, and on top of that they're able to work together as a pride. Most of the time they're able to dominate the situation.
To Kim, they form a tank brigade, a formidable force that only the hyenas occasionally challenge.
Hyenas are very much thinking brutes of the battlefields and have a steel trap mind. They too have the strongest jaws of any of these predators. They are very successful.
Cunning and opportunistic, they kill alone or in coordinated squads. Their multiple capabilities make them a kind of special forces here.
And then the leopards are the guys who will go into a third dimension where they take full advantage of hoisting their carcasses into trees and using them for safety as well.
Like an airborne trooper, the leopard chernobyl tends to stay above the fray. A skill that serves him well when things get ugly. Kim's covered chernobyl for 4 years and knows he stands apart. He's a lone operator out here. But in wartime, is there safety in numbers? Or just a better chance you'll starve? While male lions lie around proclaiming control of the land, it's the lionesses who generally bring home the bacon. They're like a fast-moving tank unit, and they coordinate their attacks. Eating is another matter. Here it's everyone for herself. The lioness is a marvel of predatory engineering. Her eyes, set well forward for pinpoint targeting, are extremely sharp, and so powerful at night, she can see by starlight. Massive musculature powers her jaw, a simple but deadly hinge, excellent for crushing windpipes. 2-inch canine teeth grasp the prey and tear flesh, and are spaced to fit between the cervical vertebrae, the better to sever the spinal cord. Her extremely rough tongue, covered in spines, efficiently scrapes meat from bone. The lion's frame is built for both power and speed. The hind legs propel the big cat at 35 miles per hour in a short burst. The forelegs spread wide to engulf prey and deliver blows that will break a zebra's back. But there's one group that rivals the power of the tank brigade. Hyenas. Long underrated and detested as cowering scavengers. Hyenas are smart and gutsy predators. They can bring down large prey and will readily take on even the strongest of their rivals, an entire pride of lions. A sloped and front-loaded body is built for swiftness and exceptional stamina. A massive chest and muscular neck power a jaw that puts even the leopards to shame. Sharp, pointed front teeth shred flesh. Back teeth crush bone. Stomach acids are so strong, the animal can even digest bone. Round, radar dish-like ears detect signals from miles away, making the hyena's hearing as acute as the cat's. Even the hyena's chilling vocalizations, 11 in all, serve as a kind of psychological weapon. intimidating war cries that can drive a predator off its kill.
Love it!
To get close to this kind of action takes nerves of steel and keen knowledge of each animal's personal boundaries. Kim's been covering these creatures for so long, he can get right in their faces.
Sometimes I'm getting really close in there, right down in the trenches with them, just feeling what it's about and the real harshness of just killing, really. That's what it's about. But I've got to be sure that I can predict or understand or see the change in their behavior so that I can get out of there in time before I become a serious casualty.
He's filmed the action for 11 years, but never been bitten or mauled. At least not yet. He's caught unprecedented glimpses of these great biological weapons of Africa. An arsenal of predation to rival the deadliest in the world. At Mala Mala, the system generally works. Pecking orders are clear, territories defined. The result is a shaky truce. It's always simmering here. Low-level skirmishing is a way of life. Full-blown war is rare. But Kim and the predators of Mala Mala are about to relearn an ancient lesson. Only one true superpower maintains this balance. Water. A subtropical climate normally dumps nearly 2 feet of rain during summer. That means water everywhere. The Sand River rarely runs dry and is a prey magnet. Predators know that where there's water, they can usually find lunch. "6,000 miles from Mala Mala, a disaster unfolds. The Pacific Ocean contorts and becomes lopsided. Warm water piles up on its western edge. It's called El Nino, and it's a ghost in the global weather machine. The results? Heavy rainfall in the U.S., brush fires in Australia, and in southern Africa, the cycle of drought gets worse. Yearly rains haven't materialized. What should be green has turned to dust. Water holes are now quagmires. The elephants wreak havoc. Each adult needs up to 50 gallons of water a day, and they're sucking the place dry. For the fish of the Sand River, there's nowhere to hide. As the water disappears, so do the prey. The Sand River has lived up to its name. It's hard times for everyone, predators and prey alike. The very young suffer first. This cub starved to death. The lions of Mala Mala have been taking down only small prey recently. Intense competition at the carcass means that some little mouths get shoved aside. Without meat and water, his siblings will also die. The cub's demise is an ancient enemy's grisly prize. There is no love lost between lions and hyenas. Out on his daily patrols, Kim sees tensions escalate along the predatory borders. The long simmering struggle on the plains of Mala Mala is about to boil over into war. And, as Napoleon noted, every army travels on its stomach. It's the wet season in Mala Mala, but there's no sign of rain. And last year, the rains barely came at all. The situation is dire. Only one creature has the powerful hydraulic equipment to find water. With a sense of smell as great as its giant trunk, the elephant can sniff out water under the sand and excavate it for a few precious mouthfuls. Kim knows the elephant's work will create hotspots in Mala Mala's burgeoning war of the drought.
All the water in the veld dried up several months ago, and even the sand rivers stopped flowing. But there's still quite a lot of water under the sand, and it's really only elephants that are able to get down to this water, and they dig these little holes, and this provides a lifeblood for all the other animals that need to drink. But it's this too that's broken down all territorial boundaries amongst all the predators, and this is what's bringing the predators to war here at Mala Mala.
The holes should give him chances to film, but there are also places where Kim has to watch his back. Predators normally wouldn't dare approach a human. Hunger now emboldens them. On the move across the battlefield, Kim has intel that another super predator has entered the fray. He's on the lookout for one very specialized fighter. It's a cheetah. He's been making incursions in the sector where the hyena clan is active. A dangerous business. This jet-like killer has a lean and hungry look. But he knows to tread softly in this free-fire zone. No matter how hungry the cheetah is, this is just too tall an order. He's off in search of something more his own size. The impala, a souped-up model of an antelope, is built for speed. It can reach almost 40 miles per hour. But the cheetah can do 70. Anticipating a chase, Kim takes up his position. Capturing these two animals on film requires some pretty fast reflexes.
Cheetah are the assassins of the bush, and they operate fast and quick like stealth fighters. They don't rely on stalking so much as their speed to catch their target. This cheetah is now probably about 15 meters off her target and will be launching her attack any second.
Every feature of the cheetah says speed. Bones are lightweight. A long, flexible spine spring loads each stride, which can cover almost 30 feet in a quarter second. On the flat track of Africa's plains, it's pure afterburner. Unlike other cats, the cheetah's claws never retract, delivering more traction in high-speed turns. To sustain this incredible speed, the cheetah sucks in oxygen through oversized intake valves, large nasal passages. Its lungs, liver, heart, and adrenal glands are supersized to kick its metabolism into high gear. Its tail acts as a rudder for high-speed turns. Even over the scrubby terrain of the Mala Mala Game Reserve, the cheetah's speed equals almost instant death. But the cheetah pays a high price for all that speed. The chase ends in exhaustion. And when it's time to fight, this lightweight marvel is no match for any of the heavy predators. In normal times, other predators seize many of the cheetah's hard-earned dinners. Yet these are not normal times. The hyena seems to sense it. It's streamlining versus power under the hot African sun. The cheetah's thin bones, small teeth, and small jaw versus the heavy-boned, deeply muscled, turbocharged jaw of the hyena. The cheetah should know it's outgunned. Rivals like the leopard have always kicked its butt up and down Mala Mala. Of course, the leopard could never actually catch the stealth fighter of the plains. But he made his point. That was before the predators went to war. This time, the cheetah is not backing down.
The cheetah calling the bluff on a hyena, I've never seen that before, and it's unheard of. The cheetahs are just getting extremely bold and having to put up a fight. There's no chance of backing down now. They've got to survive, and they're going to go to war with everybody else.
The hyena can't pull rank. The cheetah will not bow to superior force. She faces down her heavily armed foe and keeps her meal. But the cheetah's bold stand is a one-time deal, a tactical necessity for an animal at the end of its rope. The carnivores of Mala Mala will take even greater risks before the dust settles in this predator's war. The haven of Mala Mala is becoming a hell. Last year's minimal rainfall compounds this year's utter lack of rain. Where there once was water, there is now only scorched earth. Battlefield conditions deteriorate. Along with water, boundaries between predators evaporate in heat that pushes 110 degrees. Another night descends over Mala Mala. The deepening drought ratchets up the pressure on all frontline combatants. Like high-tech weaponry, super predators operate within certain tolerances. Less food means more aggression. Tension is palpable. Tonight, Kim hopes to shadow the forces of the Irefield Pride. And there they are. Lions specialize in night attacks, as Kim knows from long experience. That's why he's wary of becoming collateral damage. A lion at night is pumped for conflict.
The lions are on the move at the moment, and I'm just trying to get myself into position. These guys dominate the situation out here because of their brute force, and they operate in numbers, working in a pride. In the day, they're quite timid to my presence. But at night, they're extremely different characters to what they are in the daytime, and can be extremely aggressive at night. So I have to be very aware of this and operate accordingly.
The lions are headed straight for him. Emboldened by darkness, they paint a new target. Time to warn them off. After looking Kim over, the pride apparently decides there are less noisy pickings elsewhere. Kim trails the lion's nighttime incursion. Unknown to the lions across the battlefield, a different fighting force is on the move. It's the hyena clan, out on night patrol. Females lead this squad. The leader, like all female hyenas, is larger and fiercer than any of the males. Though they look like dogs, hyenas are more closely related to cats. Neither cat nor dog. They are all killer. The lions, meanwhile, are having no luck. The king of beasts doesn't know to stay downwind of its prey, so the pride's scent is spooking everything. Everything but the kudu, which is by sheer chance upwind of the lions. An antelope distinctive for its size and magnificent horns, the kudu has large, keen ears. But tonight, the lions are running silent. Kudu is a windfall, larger than the impalas the pride has been bringing down lately. But it won't satisfy a dozen adult lions, let alone uninvited guests. The hyenas pick up some chatter. With their radar dish ears swiveling, they acquire their target. The unmistakable sounds of a kill rocket across Mala Mala. Now they take off across the battlefield. Though hyenas in this area kill more than they scavenge, they're certainly not going to pass up someone else's hard-won rations. To be killed by lions is not a good way to die. Their carving tools are efficient and merciless. Youngsters, as always, must wait their turn. They know their place in the ranks at the kill. And the lion's share inevitably goes to the commander. But here come the hyenas. Extraordinary times bring extraordinary sights. War has its own logic. A pair of hyenas and a single lioness, eternal enemies on this and every battlefield, quietly share the spoils of war. They fear the males more than they hate each other.
Seeing these two feeding together like this was just amazing, and I think it is because the hyenas realized that if they caused too much havoc, the rest of the pride would come running back, so they called this sort of truce with this lioness, and they fed together until she felt intimidated by the presence of all of them there and moved on.
The truce will not last long, Kim knows. Until rain knocks tensions back to a simmer, Mala Mala marches towards chaos. The rains are months overdue, and there is hell to pay. The Irefield pride keeps producing cubs, but the cubs keep dying. The hyenas breed several times each year, but haven't bred for months. High above the battlefield, the symbol of death hangs in the sky. But even a symbol has to eat. A hippo has fought with a rival over a disappearing water hole and died of his wounds. And the battlefield scavengers are having a field day. The hyena can barely believe his luck. If only he can get rid of the enemy. Vultures are an overlooked force on this killing ground. Looters who arrive after the battle is fought. Nearby, a squadron of white-backed vultures has cornered a cheetah and her yearling cub. Their objective? An impala the big cat's just killed. The mother cheetah eats while the eating is good. Her youngster, too green to know better, tries to chase off the poachers. But it's no use. Cheetahs have invested so much in their stealth fighter mode of attack that they have no real defenses. No power, poor weapons. And so they give way to lowly scavengers. The brutal pressure in this combat area is too intense for the cats. They push on in search of a more forgiving place. In this drought, it's doubtful that they'll find it. Her cub, at least, is alive. They're not all so lucky. In a tree, Kim finds a casualty of the predator's war. It's a dead leopard cub, killed by an adult male, now being eaten by its own mother. As always, the hyena shadows the leopard and reaps his gruesome reward. A hardened witness to battle, Kim accepts such disturbing sights without much pause. But even he is beginning to wonder what will happen if the rains don't come.
Well, the drought is really soldiering on now and getting intense, putting major stress on all the animals, the predators and the prey. It's a situation that is not a pleasant one to be witnessing, but I haven't seen it like this before, and where this is going to go is really hard to say, but it's definitely heading for one massive disaster, and the only thing that can stop this is going to be rains, which we can only expect now in another 6 to 8 months' time.
On the battlefield of Mala Mala, the rainy season has passed, with almost no life-giving rain, and suffering is widespread. Even the rules Kim survives by are starting to change.
Predators are changing their attitude towards me, where in the past I could sort of read their behavior well and understand it, and now I look more as an intruder, and I don't have that comfort zone that just was there before. So going in there to document this is becoming more and more of a risk to me, and less predictable, which is quite scary when I'm dealing with these big guys.
But as risky as it is for this observer, he knows that it's the combatants who are paying the price. The lions are still taking down game, but only small game. The larger prey seem to have left this desolate place. The young lions are the hardest hit, as the adults dominate the carcasses. The old, too, are on their last legs. Many have already succumbed. The super-specialized cheetahs, outmatched and outcompeted, have abandoned Mala Mala altogether. Even the scrappy Charleston hyena clan is struggling. Its numbers decrease. The conflicts with other predators intensify. But Kim's old comrade seems to be thriving. Chololo. Kim has tracked him through the drought and is surprised to see he's still a killing machine. The leopard, generally only half the size of a lion, is not to be underestimated. A 10-foot vertical leap is easy. The leopard can haul twice its own weight, straight up, taking an adult antelope or even a young buffalo into a tree. Massive neck and shoulder muscles, and legs like cocked guns, define this cat. The power to airlift raises the leopard out of the two-dimensional world of rival forces. Going up high means he can stash food beyond the reach of the enemy. With the predators at war, Chololo gets his prize off the battlefield as quickly as possible. Satisfied that his dinner is safe, Chololo goes back to night patrol. This time the leopard moves on without his embedded companion. As a combat cameraman bent on capturing the soldier's point of view, Kim has managed to get himself into some interesting situations. His camera sometimes captures more than he bargains for, and a shadow moves under the tree. It's the hyenas. The warriors seem bewildered by Kim's new position. Things are about to heat up. The new face in Kim's viewfinder is a hungry lioness. She seems willing to scale the defenses. If Kim wavers now, or shows fear, he's toast. With a bold stance and a human bark, the lioness retreats. Kim, no worse for wear, gets his shot. A war correspondent's life in this drought-ridden place is dangerous. As careful and as experienced as Kim is, his vehicle testifies to the brutality of life in the bush.
You know, the place is totally unpredictable, and I think fortunately I've spent so much time out here and gained a lot of experience to understand where a lot of these situations are going. I'm getting out of my vehicle to get those low-angle shots. I'm not just doing it for the fun of it. Fortunately, I do have experience where I understand a lot of what goes on, but, you know, who knows, maybe one day I won't get it right.
Kim's sources in the bush indicate another lethal fighting force is moving into the battlefield. One so far-ranging that its territory encompasses all of Mala Mala. It's on the brink of extinction. But to watch it work is to understand why it is still among the most feared animals in Africa. Predator war has been raging for weeks in Mala Mala. Now a roving force, undaunted by drought, joins the volatile mix. It's the African wild dog. Smart, colorful, relentless. Wild dogs are Africa's swarming infantry. Lightly but lethally armed, they hunt with martial precision. Their markings work like high-tech camouflage. They're hidden from enemies, visible to friends. Each dog has its own, as distinctive as our fingerprints. These are ancient warriors, descended from the oldest line of dogs. Built for astounding stamina, they can chase prey over miles, for hours, until they run it into the ground. These dogs are dangerous on their own, deadly in a pack. Compulsively and rigidly attached to their units, they have been known to care for their injured. Unlike lions and hyenas, the wild dogs eat in a disciplined, orderly way. Each member of the rank and file has a turn at the carcass. They dedicate themselves single-mindedly to the raising of the next generation of infantry. Though only the leaders of the pack reproduce, the group expects every member to regurgitate rations for the pups. Ritual greetings strengthen the bonds of the unit. Wild dogs tend to have big litters, sometimes upwards of 20 pups. They'll take on any predator, no matter how large, to defend their young. A scout alerts the pack to a nearby presence. A rival. It's Chilolo. The ancient hatred between dogs and cats may find its source here. The infantry is too much for Chilolo, and he airlifts out of danger. Once airborne, he's got nothing to fear from the ground-pounding canines. When he stays aloft, they move off and return to their den. In Africa, threats to young wild dogs are everywhere. But hyenas make them especially wary. Wild dog radar picks up the sounds of nearby hyena activity. The hyenas have taken down a starving yearling. One makes off with a piece toward the nearby woods. Bad idea. He's getting far too close to the wild dog's den. With pups to defend, they're not about to tolerate a hyena in their midst. No single wild dog would have a chance against the heavy armor of the hyena. Hyenas can weigh 150 pounds, twice the weight of a wild dog. So the dogs, about the size of a Doberman, take to the field in numbers and tag team the errant hyena. The arrival of wild dogs in Mala jacks up the pressure. But just as quickly as they arrive, they pull out. Super mobile, they opt for less chaotic territory. Even with their formidable discipline and coordinated attack capability, they'd be no match for the dogs of war about to be unleashed. Starved of rain, Mala is now scorched by heat. Kim has rarely seen it so dry. Never seen the predators so stressed. He thinks new rules are evolving in the contest. The new rules? No rules. Hyenas, the cackling opportunists of Mala, quickly adapt to the chaos. They've taken a keen interest in one of the rival powers, Chololo, hungrily stalking his every move. But it's not the big cat they're after. They want what the big cat's after. Tenacious hunters, they're even better bandits. Chololo is feeling the hyena heat. He quickly muscles his latest meal into the nearest tree before he's even finished killing it. Not a moment too soon. The hyenas are hard on his heels. But Chololo may have miscalculated badly. And the hyenas are making their own calculations. The leopard has chosen too low a branch. A costly lapse in judgment in the predator's war. Hyenas can't climb, but they can jump. And those jaws are relentless. The hyena jaw exerts nearly 1,000 pounds per square inch of biting pressure, and a stubbornness to match. All his hard work for naught. Chololo heads off. nick of time. The Irefield lion pride always dominates the battlefield at night. But in these conditions, that's not enough. No rules means more risks. Lionesses work their dagger-like claws, leaving a chemical marker warning competitors to stay clear of the territory. Tonight, the air rumbles with the promise of tons of meat on the hoof. Meat the increasingly gaunt lionesses badly need. The Cape buffalo have entered this sector, seeking any remaining grasses. The lionesses silently eavesdrop on the perimeter of the herd. Now, Kim is caught with the besieged, surrounded by bad-tempered buffalo. But neither party has any idea where the big cats will launch their attack.
Buffalo rely very much on safety in numbers, and at the moment there's a crowd of lions circulating them, just trying to find the weaker individuals. But it's a seriously formidable prey for lions to take on, and they only do this really in hard times when they're hard pressed. Obviously there's a major risk involved here, and there could easily be casualties on the lion side.
To the lions, it's a fortress of meat, horn, and lethal hooves. The herd, picking up the distinctive scent of lion, begins to spook. Despite their hunger, they know that patience is the key to victory. The lion has built-in night vision. They can see about 6 times better than humans in the dark. Still, they hesitate. They know that going after Cape buffalo can be a suicide mission. Throughout Africa, mother buffalo can be insanely defensive, and many a lion has died trying to steal a calf. Now the lions carefully consider their plan of attack as the buffalo settle back into foraging. Target acquired. It's an old buffalo, slightly lame, but still intimidating. As the lions begin their attack, the rest of the buffalo herd takes off, abandoning the old buffalo. And the end begins. The lionesses, as always, lead the attack. A male lion usually delivers the death blow. He goes for a throat lock that will crush the windpipe. But the prideful lions get a surprise. A rescue force returns. The buffalo have regrouped and counterattack. against all odds, they drive off the attackers. But can their comrade rally? The predator's war degenerates into a desperate scramble for survival. In an uncanny display of unity, the Cape buffalo lick and nudge a wounded comrade, urging her to get to her feet and flee. While the lions bide their time. The embattled buffalo makes a valiant struggle to regain her footing. But she is too old and has lost too much blood. An old soldier looks death in the eye, but finds no strength to continue the fight. The herd, sensing the inevitable, abandons the rescue operation. Still, a Cape buffalo, with its neck and windpipe protected by Kevlar-like muscle, is no simple animal to kill. Out here, old soldiers don't fade away. They die a slow death. Then they are eaten. This grim, drawn-out death for the buffalo means life for the lion cubs. With the pride bringing down only small prey for months, they've been starving. The steaming carcass is more than enough for all 13 lions. The dagger jab of the drought is parried for one more night. Across the battlefield, the hyenas have finished Chilolo's dinner. They're back on night maneuvers, drooling with anticipation. They haven't caught scent or sound of the lion's kill. They've been distracted by an incursion of their own kind. It's a nomadic hyena, outcast and haggard. For a moment, it seems that the hyenas will simply check it out and leave it alone. But that is not the hyena way. It is the wrong hyena, in the wrong place, at the wrong time. Harassment gives way to all-out attack. The cubs bolt as the rest of the clan joins in the melee. Abruptly as the torment began, it ends. The Charleston clan senses something. It's an advance guard of the Iredale Pride, a notorious hyena killer. The hyenas scatter, with lions on their heels. The outcast slips away in the confusion. The male lion can continues to hunt down the hyenas. But he picks up a sound that makes him turn back. It's one of the Charleston clan's cubs, wounded and abandoned. Its back broken in the melee, it poses no threat and offers no promise of food. The lion has eaten his fill of the buffalo. But this hyena cub's fate is sealed.
Male lions have this complete and utter passionate hatred for hyenas and will go out of their way to kill them. He must have held on for 5 minutes, strangling this poor little thing. It had been dead probably after the first minute, but he was making absolutely sure that there was no life in it.
Only when the cub grows cold does the lion leave off the killing. He leaves a calling card, scratching his mark in the turf. In the end, lions won't eat the hyena cub. A member of its own clan will do the job. Hyena cannibalism typically is mothers eating their young.
Cannibalism is a lot more disturbing than watching any normal kill. But after time, it is one of those things where if you got involved, you would just, I wouldn't be out here because I just see too much of it, and I wouldn't be shooting it through the camera. I would, be hiding away somewhere, not wanting to see it. But that's the reality of it.
The reality is that it can get worse. The spiral of carnage can twist even further down. Some brutal, natural limit has yet to be reached. But then, electricity splits the South African sky. Kim can only wonder if this means the end to the long nightmare. Of life that has been absent for almost 2 seasons. At the first hint of its return, Mala Mala blossoms into florid greenery. But the promise is false. In only days, all the water has disappeared. For Kim, the predator's war is about to come to a head. Chololo's hunting prowess will trigger a battle amongst all the major players. One will pay the ultimate price. It starts innocently enough. Kim follows Chololo on leave. The big cat is after a little R&R. and some companionship. This female's turf overlaps his, but both are solitary soldiers. They only seek each other out to reproduce. For a week, they mate and hunt together. Taking her cue from Chilolo, the female seems to accept Kim as part of the scenery. She also lets Chilolo take the lead on the hunt. He shares the carcass, less than gallantly. They settle in to eat. A couple of mouthfuls, though, and she seems uneasy. She leaves Chilolo and the carcass, with good reason. Against a single hyena, Chilolo knows he can hold his own. While Chilolo brandishes teeth and claws, the hyena wields his psychotic shriek and his infamous jaw. It's a standoff. But the keen-eared hyena knows he's gaining the advantage. Another hyena takes a shot at the carcass. And Chilolo retreats. The hyenas celebrate their victory by dismembering the carcass. But victory is short-lived out here. A patrol from the Irefield Pride zeroes in on the reveling hyenas. The lead lioness surveys the field, assesses the enemy's strength, charges. While the lioness chases the hyenas, Chilolo spots his chance to reclaim his kill. In a flash, he's got the carcass and himself off the battlefield. The lioness returns, this time with a companion. But their plunder has been airlifted away. It's too much for the lead lioness. She surges upwards, even though she's not built for climbing. It's a treetop skirmish in the battle of the big cats. And Chololo is beaten on his own lofty turf. Worse, he's trapped up here with the spoiler. The lioness settles in to enjoy the spoils of war. Her earthbound companions pace in anticipation. The temptation is too much for one comrade. She thinks better of it. With their leader flailing in the treetop, something is bound to give. And it does. With the ground crew occupied, Chololo makes his break. But the lioness will pay a brutal price for her audacious assault on Chololo's citadel. Morning dawns on the dead lioness, her back broken in the fall. One of her comrades surveys the unlikely scene. In a world run amok, curiosity quickly turns to cannibalism.
Probably my most shocking moment was that lioness breaking her back in the tree, where just, horrific to see her there, and then to see her mates literally come and feed on her because of the stressful times that they were in. They were taking advantage of a carcass.
The Mala Mala Game Reserve has gone nearly a year and a half without significant rain. To Kim, the animals have reached the limit. This is rock bottom.
I've never seen anything like it. I can't believe how far these animals will go just to survive. It's sobering, it's humbling, and even frightening at times. I have these indelible images seared in my mind. All these pictures of struggle and killing. It's a bloody record of war that just keeps replaying in my head.
Sun and the brutal blue sky give way. And the heavens crack wide open. It's no false promise this time. It is deep, soaking rain. After days of rain, Mala Mala begins to right itself, and a kind of normalcy returns. The Sand River has emerged from the scorched earth, and the water-dependent giants return. For the survivors, it is as if the drought never happened. Once again, Mala Mala is a predator's Eden. Chololo, the leopard, has emerged from the drought surprisingly hardy. The cheetahs have returned with the rains, as have the wild dogs. The Irefield pride has suffered some terrible losses among their cubs, but the survivors are quickly becoming sleek and healthy. The Charleston hyena clan didn't breed at all during the drought,